Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille show. My name is Jerry Miller. It is great to be with you on a chilly Thursday. We are live in Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille network. You know I love journeys from an entrepreneurial standpoint. Today's program epitomizes this journey. We have a co-founder, a husband and wife co-founder at that. I work with my wife in this business as well. It is not all sunshine and roses and rainbows.
Let's get into it.
We're going to talk about this with a legend locally very soon, Eliza Whiteman, the owner and director of FlyDog Yoga. She has brought Megan Morris, her general manager, to sit shotgun with us. We're going to talk their journey as small business owners in this community, a community that is absolutely focused on being the best version of itself. And I think that starts with body, mind, and spirit. And FlyDog Yoga certainly embodies those qualities. Before we welcome the ladies to the show, they're looking fabulous. We're going to thank some of the clients that make this program possible. We are an advertising agency at VMV Brands and I Love CVille. As of this morning, 113 clients under our belt. Two of our favorites, Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. We represent all aspects of their brand. Interstate started in 1969 with the first generation, Mr. Robert Wells, who used his personal truck, payphones in Charlottesville, and sweat equity to build a company. Think about that. Today, 4 generations of family running this company, almost 100 employees, and a working footprint of all of Virginia. I want our business to be like this business one day. No pressure, son. You're 22 months old. Let's get to your 2-year birthday first. Also, Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, physical therapy, chiropractic care, sports medicine. Dr. Wagner, changing people's lives. I can tell these ladies are popular. Gloria Mitchell, hello. Missy Kent, hello. Davina Jackson, hello. Like and share the stream. Judah, Studio Cam, let's welcome the beauties to the program. Ladies, how are you?
Wow, thank you.
I can follow you around everywhere if you want an intro like that.
I mean, go ahead. That'd be great. Great. I really got myself together.
You're fired up right now.
I got my fancy pants on, like my fancy yoga pants.
There you
I
go.
got my fancy yoga pants on.
My extended family says, Jerry, being around you is like 15 cups of coffee.
I mean, that's good energy to have, though.
I love life.
Like, let's go.
If you love life, it can't help but love you back.
There you go. That's a good one.
We're going to make some introductions.
Okay.
Megan, general manager. Eliza, co-founder and director. We will start with you, boss lady.
Okay.
Who is Eliza? What makes her tick?
Oh, man. You said you were going to ask this straight out the gate just a little bit ago. And, man, the thing that makes me tick is really building a community, coming together for a greater cause. I mean, really, when it comes all down to it, like everything I do, it is rooted in community, bringing people together and all of us rising up, like into our full potential. And so, like, that is whatever I do. From playing sports, like athletic through college and beyond, but always in search of this energy. I love the team, right? I love the teamwork. I love people like in it together. Just that there's a spirit and an energy there. And so with whatever it is, whether it's a yoga studio, whether it's trainings, whether it's classes, whether it's any entrepreneurial things that I'm doing with other women, there is this aspect of, no, let's do this together. There's such just a great spirit of you get so much more out of any project that you are doing when it's all us together. So that is what makes me tick.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
I love that answer. I love the team sports background. I think team sports invaluable for any aspect of life, how to win, how to fail.
Sure.
I want to go down this road with you, not now, but soon.
Yeah.
The concern I have as a father of this everybody gets a trophy mentality irritates the hell out of me. There's a lot of value that can be gained from coming in the 8th place.
Yep.
I want to throw this to you. The passion of being the best version of yourself. You embody that. You also embody human connection.
Right.
That's something I have. I see it in other people immediately.
Right.
You love being around people and helping them be the best versions of themselves. That topic to you.
Just in general, how do I do that?
How it motivates you, why it inspires you, how you go about doing it.
Man, I think it is being seen, being heard, feeling seen and heard, and feeling supported. And the more we isolate, the more we pull away, the deeper the hole gets for us to kind of dig out of whatever we're going through. And that's the most important time to really reach out and build that connection to people. I think that's a huge thing. And how I go about doing that is, whether it's whether team, sports, athletics, whether it's the business, what I do really well is making people feel welcomed, making people feel like they belong, incorporating everyone, no matter what, who they are, their background, their abilities, any of that they are welcome to be with me. They should, they are absolutely at the right place, right? Where your feet take you, that's where you belong. And so really, with my business, when people come through the doors, I don't want them to see it as a business. I want them to see it as like a second home, a place where it's like, put roots down, like this is home base. And the growth that you get out of that from other people, the opportunities, possibilities, and the wings, right? Roots for wings.
Love it, love it. You're getting props already. Ashley Cherix, Eliza is so nice. We are so grateful for her support of the Ishan Gala Foundation. Ann Cooler, I'm sorry if I'm messing your last name up, Ann. We love Eliza and Brad and Megan.
There's Ann.
They are absolutely amazing. Bobby Castine, Jay Burns, Brent Lillard, Ashley Cantras, just to name a few. Josh Shiflett, welcome to the program. Megan's already getting some props. Sarah Warren Bowen, love you, cousin Megan. I am so very proud of you. Give it a like and a share, just like Sarah Warren Bowen has done. If you have any comments you'd like to relay to the ladies, put it in the comment section and I will pass it along. Megan, your time to shine. Who is Megan and what is she all about?
Oh man, as Eliza was talking, I think that's what makes me tick is watching this process, watching people come into the studio. As I came into the studio, I had taken probably 3 yoga classes in my lifetime before I made it into FlyDog. And, seeing the people on their very first day, they don't know what they're doing, they're a little bit nervous, and watching them grow into people that they're just coming into themselves. They're figuring out who they are on the mat, off the mat, and becoming a part of this community that we're building. And it's so cool to see someone grow that way and watch that trajectory as they get more themselves.
Great answer.
So cool.
What is it about yoga you love?
Oh my gosh, that's a long list. I think it's I've done a lot of I was a swimmer, I was a runner, and this hits the sweet spot of physical work, feeling like you have really put your heart and soul into a workout and sweat it all out. And it's the mental, it's the emotional, the release that you get, that moment of stillness at the end where you are, you've put in all the work and now you're just kind of bringing it back to yourself. It's a workout like no other, but it's not just a physical workout.
Nice.
It's a workout and a work in, yeah?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me about that.
It is.
The workout and the work in. I mean, it is. I mean, we have to meet people how they come in, and taking all of these history, philosophy, and the roots of yoga. But I mean, this day and age, I mean, like we just talked about, like being attached to the phone and social media and technology, and just the go of just kind of American life. So meeting people how they show up, like, okay, yeah. They're ready. They've got to get this energy out. They're in this like really high performing job or wherever they are in their life, but just always having to go next level with everything. So we meet them that way on the mat. It's the workout. And I am very connected to, that's what drew me into yoga. I'm very connected to the physical side of it. But what I've learned and what I hope that I give to others is, here's the physical aspect. We're going to do it. We're going to do all the things for you to get to this calmer, clearer self. And those last few moments and the floor poses or in Shavasana, when you do the final relaxation, is just this emotional, just kind of not breakthrough, but just kind of clarity. You cleared out all the garbage, all the noise, to get to this like steady place where you can really listen to what's actually going on instead of all the stories in your head. And so it really is that workout component, but it's also some deeper like personal work. Once you get through like those first couple of classes that you go through, with us, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot with any situation,
sure.
Even if you're right.
It's you.
Yeah. And so, those first couple, you're like just trying to survive. But what I hope is after a while, and this is what we see, people start, okay, now I kind of know what she's saying or know the poses that she's calling out, okay. And then they're listening to the other little things. They're not just trying to survive anymore. And now it's like next level, what's the next thing to listen to. They really start to connect better with themselves, with their poses and everything.
It's the evolution of your clients.
Sure. Yeah.
Your customers.
Sure.
You're getting a lot of props right here. Eliza's page is blowing up. This is coming from Nikki James Zellner. Eliza is a force. Such an inspiration for women in business. Great representation of the military spouse entrepreneur community.
Nikki!
This is a great comment. Said it better than I could, Nikki. Let's go down that road.
Okay.
You're
Sure.
12 years in Charlottesville.
Yes.
You and your husband meet at Auburn.
Just outside. So I went to Auburn University, and graduated.
Softball and rugby. A badass.
Yes. Sure, I'll take that.
Yes.
And I moved to Columbus, Georgia. So in Columbus, Georgia is Fort Benning.
Okay.
And my husband was stationed there.
Okay.
So I played rugby at the end of college, and I had a friend in Columbus, and we both played rugby together, and we're like, hey, why don't we just practice with the men's team, and then we'll go out and play in different tournaments.
Badass. I'm saying
it.
Twice.
Okay, I'll take it. Jerry. I'll take it. So started practicing with the men's team, but I had a strict rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the strict rule?
No rugby boys.
No rugby boys?
No.
Why no rugby boys?
That's shenanigans.
Why is that shenanigans?
Well, and also, I mean, because I was here to practice.
Okay.
Right? I was not here for the shenanigans.
Okay.
Right? So I kind of had to make that clear. Or not make that clear. I didn't have to make that clear. But that was my intention.
Okay. And then what? He wooed you?
No, he didn't woo me.
Come on. Come on. You know I'm going to ask you.
No, you know what? So we started practicing in June.
Okay.
So we would have practice, and I remember when he first drove up, and we kind of looked at each other at the same time.
Ooh,
and eye contact. And I was like, who the hell brought this redneck? Because he had this huge red Bronco.
Jacked up pickup truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was like, who brought this redneck to rugby practice? And then later, as the story unfolds, Brad later has said, when he first looked over, he's like, who brought their girlfriend to rugby practice? So that was, so we would have, practices, and it was, we would make fun of each other. We were just always like,
flirting.
Yes.
Okay, let's cut to the chase.
And then, and so then a couple months later, there was a get together. We're like, let's go, we'll do this. My friend and I, like, let's go to this, get together. And I just happened to sit next to him and started talking. And that was it. 2 weeks later, we were like moved in, like it was a whole thing.
That's amazing.
So that was.
So you guys
really
knew.
I would say when I talked with him, here's what it was. Just his passion for what he was up to struck me.
That's awesome. I love that quality in people.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
That was it. It is. And so that passion that he had for what he was doing and what he wanted to do with himself, that was like, it was, I mean, of course, it was like, I really like him, but I really found, I really like this kind of person.
Yeah.
Right? That just so driven and really passionate about what he was doing. I love that.
So you guys go to Charlottesville for him to attend the Darden School.
The Darden.
One of the best business schools in the world.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
What was that like? I'm going to move to Charlottesville.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time.
In between. I want to hear it. Give us the nitty gritty.
A lot of time in there.
No rules here.
Okay, so yeah, it was quick. Within a year, we were married. Wow. So he was going through special forces training. So going through all of that in that time that we were together, training. That was in Fort Bragg. So we had to move. So we, from Fort Benning to Fort Bragg in North Carolina. And then we were married there in Raleigh. And then right after that, we moved out to Colorado, Fort Carson.
Wow.
A couple months later, he deploys for a year.
Shoot.
And
Iraq?
Yeah, and this is the height. This is 2003, 2004. And I had to think about this because I was like, someone asked, why so quick? Did you just know? And I was like, I had to go back to when the world was going on, 2003. What was this, having to revisit that feeling of everything that was going on. 9/11, Iraq, war. My brother was already over there in 2002.
Okay.
And so there was just a lot of live your life, really take it, embrace it, and do it. There was that feeling.
Sure.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
So he was deployed, and in those 4 years that we were married and we were there at Fort Carson, he was gone a ton of the time. And I had to really figure out, okay, I've had 3 jobs in 3 years in 3 different cities. Nobody wants to hire me. And now really what do I want to do? So I actually just by chance got into teaching. So I was an elementary school teacher. But this is the time I started yoga.
Okay.
And started this yoga class and really enjoyed it. And then that is where I learned figuratively and literally, I say this all the time, I say this in my classes, crow pose, right? That is where I learned to hold myself up. Like that was yoga and it hooked me. And that's been, I try to bring that. That is my passion because it taught me to hold myself up. Like when you have no idea what's going on, you don't know what's next, what's going to happen. All of these thoughts, every breath is a prayer. And you got this. You can hold yourself up with your wee little hands and you can do this, like one breath at a time, one pose at a time. That's my thing. And that hooked me. So then, all of that, then we move. He transitions out of active duty.
Okay.
Come to Charlottesville. And yeah, I also have my first child when we moved. So my oldest was 2 weeks old.
Okay.
And then he's in business school, which is...
Your oldest is 2 weeks old when you moved to Charlottesville?
Yes.
Jeebus.
Yes. And he's in business school.
So you're like really in the thick.
In the thick.
Like,
and we lived out in Earlysville. Oh my gosh.
In the thick,
Yes.
moving to a new community. Your husband is transitioning to business school.
That's like a deployment in itself.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
Because you're not going to see them. They're grinding. Okay, so like you were like literally having 3 to 4 massive life changes.
Yes.
Like, are you close to like losing your shit?
So much.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, like all along through like yoga and stuff, I would look at trainings and I'd always be like, that's too far away. Oh, that's, it's like that. before do you have one child?
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you were like, oh, so busy. You have a child and you're like, I did not know what busy was.
Yeah. It was easy.
Yes.
Free kid. My wife and I, we were going to happy hour.
Know, right?
We were staying up till 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I never was tired.
Never tired.
You know, I'm like, I'm not
so
sore. I'm not tired. I
refreshed.
can go 4 hours. I can drink
Totally.
on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I can get after it. Now I'm like, dude, it's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Where I need to go to bed.
9 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
9 o'clock. I'm in my PJs. Like, let's. I'm putting mommy to bed. Like, that's what we're doing.
We're gonna bring you in here in a second here, Megan. I gotta hear this story here. People are loving this. So Darden School, 2-week-old, in Charlotte, in Earlysville.
Yeah.
Nobody.
0.
Did you feel
0.
lonely and
Totally.
like isolated?
Totally.
And like, how am I going to assimilate myself in this
Totally.
community? What did you do? Like, I ask this question to everybody about moving to Charlottesville.
Yeah.
People either immediately are like, Charlottesville is like, I found people, I found my tribe.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. Charlottesville's cliquish. People have been here so long. I didn't find it my tribe at all. I had a hard time breaking into it.
Yeah.
What was your?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but my priority was being a mom.
Okay.
Right? Being a mom, being a supportive spouse for my husband. He's trying to figure his stuff out, right? It's a big transition for him as well. And for my daughter, I was busy. I was, with her. I went to the gym. I would kind of, I would go there. And that was nice. But it was my husband. It was Brad that was an integral part of, hey, you know what? Why don't you find a training? Why don't you find a training, and you really like doing this activity? Why don't you just find a training and see what's possible from that? And so I found a training close to my parents down in Chattanooga, and went and did a 200-hour teacher training. And my parents watched my daughter.
200 hours. Wow.
Yeah, that's basic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the basic 200-hour. Yep, that's the standard. So I did that, and also while I was there, I saw the amazing community that was being built. So this was 12, 13 years ago. And I saw this amazing community over there in Chattanooga, and that piqued my interest. So, yeah, Brad and I would start discussing it. He was at Darden, and so that second year at Darden, he kind of was like, okay, what if? So we talk about it more, and so that's what I found here. But it was different for me. I wasn't right downtown and saying this is really cliquish.
Yeah.
I was on the outskirts.
Sure.
I had an infant trying to figure this all out, and I didn't know if we were going to stay here, so that was really tough for me. But ultimately, you can be all day, this is really cliquish, I don't like, but it's also, you play a part in that.
No doubt. I totally agree with that.
Right?
It's what you make of it.
Yeah. So,
dude, I would have run through freaking fire for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're inspiring. Like, I am like jacked up, ready to go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But that experience, that's also part of the why I created this, and why I created like an accessible studio where you see a variety of people, accessible price points that allows people to come in. That is, and why I'm so big on welcoming people in and learning names and figuring out their story. And it's the support. Like, if I would have had this studio that I want, because I would have to go out to other cities and other things to get the classes, the workshops, the trainings that I wanted to do. And I didn't have that here. So that was the thing. But in having the studio, I wanted people to have a place. If I had a place to go, and the classes, I wouldn't be here maybe. I would already have the thing that I was looking for.
Your outlet.
But I was looking for this. I was waiting for this. When is somebody going to open a studio like this? When is somebody going to do a class like this? Because my kind of style was in other places that I'd like to go to, but wasn't necessarily here. So just waiting. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? And I mean, it's kind of like the call, right?
Oh, yeah. That's almost like an aha moment.
It's kind of the call, like, oh shit, it's me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, like, okay, it's going to be me then.
Opportunity's knocking.
Yeah.
Time to go through the door.
Yeah.
Get Megan in the mix here.
Come on, Megan.
Dude, that's going to be hard to follow right there.
No, but
She's
Megan's
always
got
hard
a
to
great
follow.
story because Megan came in at a key point. So
Tell us.
No, Megan, yeah, you go ahead.
I would love to hear the key point.
You came in at a key point.
Well, I kind of stumbled into the studio, I think as a lot of people do, at a difficult time in my life, and took a class, didn't have any idea what I was doing, and realized at the end of the hour, that was the first time in probably a month that my brain turned off. I was not able to think about what was going on in my life. I was so focused, as Eliza said, on surviving the 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And so that was the draw for me. It was a place where I could go where I left the outside world at the door and I was all in on my mat and just had that release. And from there, built a community.
You did our 40 days, didn't you?
I
Like,
did
that was
40
the
days
biggest-
super early. That's an awesome program that we run that really gets into, you're practicing a lot, but you're also digging into yourself and you're getting into that inquiry and that journaling and
meditation.
Yeah. And so I was hooked, and we've got a work exchange program at the studio, and so I started that, and I was there every Friday morning at 5:30 to open those doors.
How about the transition of going to participant to team member? I mean, because sometimes, like, okay, so out of UVA.
And she was one of the first, so
Yeah.
she's like the guinea pig.
Yeah. Guinea pig.
Yeah.
And guinea pig with you.
Yeah, and,
You know, that's
and my husband.
And your husband. Okay.
And both us, I mean, let's talk about that later. But both of us together and how it's, Megan is like,
It's a fearsome team.
So here's what I'm going to throw to you is like, out of UVA, one of my passions was sports. Played sports all my life, very much like you. And I got into sports writing and radio broadcasting and television broadcasting, covering sports. Eventually, it became like a grind. My passion went from being a passion to a job.
Yeah. And that was one of the first things, as I looked for jobs out of college, I thought, well, I don't want to work there. I like that too much.
Yeah.
I appreciate going there.
Oh,
And
that's true.
That was something that I thought about, but I just knew that this was something that I wanted to get deeper in. Like I could just tell that it wasn't, and I have people ask me that when we start, bring them on as work exchange or managers. People are saying, well, does it make it harder to practice here? And no, absolutely not. I practice 5 days a week, and in some ways my practices are still the same as they were that very first time, because I'm able to drop the rest of it and just be me on the mat.
How have you seen Eliza and it's Brad?
Yes.
Have you seen Eliza and Brad evolve as entrepreneurs and business
Dang,
owners
Jerry.
and visionaries?
Dang, Jerry,
Oh my
bring
Okay.
it.
How have you seen them
Yes.
evolve?
It's been amazing. When I first started, I mean, truly, they had 4 kids and a little baby yoga studio, and
So 5 kids.
Yeah.
Basically.
And, well, we have
Pretty
a Great
much.
Dane now,
yeah,
too.
and,
So
and
that's
the
6.
baby was 6. Yes. And so they were up to their ears in the day to day, and so that was when I first started. When they brought me on as a a manager, and I was there more hours. I think what I wanted to do for them was get them out of the studio so that they could have some time to do that growth, to make those changes, and to kind of have those big dreams beyond, the bathrooms need to be cleaned right now, and we've got laundry to switch.
The towels
and,
need to be rolled.
Absolutely. So it's been great as they have been able to, they started this thing, they got it rolling, and the managers and I have been able to kind of keep it rolling for them and let them dream big. And so it's been so much fun to watch both of them, kind of go in the direction of their passions, and tying that all back into the studio.
This has been key. I'm not kidding. Like,
It's the whole E-Myth mastery. Work on your business instead of in your business.
Totally. And it was also like, how the hell do we do this? I mean, and that was, like I said, Megan was one of the first ones on, but we have Megan and shout out to Caroline and Ashley and Emily. So all of our managers, they I can't tell you. When the first 2-3 years, we didn't have a vacation. Our kids were still in like phase 1 of, of child rearing.
Yeah.
Like phase 1, little babies all under the house, can't take them out, nap time, is that.
Sure.
Now we're moved in to, over these 5 years now we're in phase 2.
Which is them at school.
And sports.
And you have freedom, a little bit.
Yeah.
Some free time.
During the day, but then at night, after school weekends, done.
Yeah.
It's because everyone plays basketball, everyone plays baseball, everyone plays soccer and volleyball, everyone. Like I've got 6-year-old to 12-year-old.
Awesome.
And so, but that's what Brad and I wanted to, as parents, like that's what our parents gave us.
Yeah.
He played football and rugby all the way up through college
Nice.
as well. And so, that's what our parents gave us, and we want to be able to provide that for our own kids. And so now we're in the thick of things. And so we didn't have even a family vacation when we were grinding. It was a lot. And it was always one or the other. Somebody was at work, somebody was at home. And then we would switch, right? And so there was no downtime. And so bringing Megan on, and then having the managers come in and really help kind of bring everything together. And oh my gosh, the really honing in on their talents. That's been so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like as part of leadership. If you're that leader and being able to have a space for them to kind of grow and flourish and what they really enjoy and what
Love
they like.
that.
It is amazing. That's been fun to watch. Fun to watch and fun to facilitate. What else do you want to do? How can we make this happen? So that's another huge thing. I am so indebted. I am so grateful for everything because it's made a huge difference.
Teamwork to make the dream work.
Totally.
You guys are getting some big time props. Jimmy C. Please tell them Jimmy C went to his first ever yoga session at FlyDog last week. I had a superb time and signed up for the 30 days. Thank you guys very much.
That's so cool.
You're getting you're getting a lot of props over here, Eliza. You're getting some
you
props
guys.
from, let's see here, Gina Ward. This is so awesome. Adam Quisenberry, who I think is part of FlyDog, is loving what he's seeing. Paul Schweisau.
Let's go, Paul.
Paul, just a quick testimonial for Eliza and her amazing team at FlyDog. I've had the privilege of practicing with them for about a year. In short, it's been life-changing. It's much more than an exercise class. It's a community and a family where you are taught how to improve yourself mentally and physically. We are encouraged to stay in the fire during the class and off of the mat. They give so much to us as students, veterans, military, school, teachers, young children. I could go on and on and on. Thank you does not cut what I'm experiencing firsthand. Kristen Bishop. I just started at FlyDog and absolutely love Eliza's classes. I am hooked. Brittany Westbrook. I cannot say enough good things about this crew. They are amazing and changing my life. Ann, Brad, Paul, Karen, Bridget, Sharon, Melissa, Cody, Tim, Greg. The list is going on and on. I am not going to get to all these comments here.
You're going to make me cry. Let's cut.
Bring the tears. I love it. Let me throw this to you. When you you and your husband are putting the business plan together at Darden, and then from business plan to finding location and opening the doors. I try to capture this on this show. Everybody, because of shows like Shark Tank and The Profit and these shows on CNBC, entrepreneurs like us are turned into like rock stars. This is effing hard. It is scary. It is lonely and it is vulnerable. And you think about everything that could possibly go wrong and the skin you have in the game and everything that you could potentially lose. Put that into perspective, characterize it for us, the sense of vulnerability upon opening this business. Because that shit is real.
It is so real, and we bootstrapped this project. We put all the chips in. From my husband, leaving his job to go, because it was like a decision, is this going to be a hobby? Or is this going to, right, when we're kind of writing this out, is this a hobby or are we going full on? Like, is this going to be a business?
Did you even think about that? Because you look like you're like all the way, hardcore all the time.
there were so many what ifs,
Yeah.
and this was just kind of like, I mean, honestly, Brad has the vision. He has his passion. He's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
He's all right. And of course, I was like, okay, let's see how this does. He had the vision, and he held really tight to that, which that was huge for me. But that's why I liked him in the first place.
Yeah. I like Brad. I feel like I know Brad. I love you, Brad.
I know. So that, so when we're kind of building this up, we were like, first, before we do anything, can't just like, put up the walls and be like, come in, we needed a team. Now we need teachers. What I didn't have here in Charlottesville was like teachers and classes
network
that I wanted to go to.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So there was a different time in Charlottesville, different kinds of yoga. There always is. So I've said before we even had to do this, we had to have a training. So 2014 put together my first 200-hour teacher training. So I'm in my 11th now. And so had my first led my first 200-hour teacher training here. And so I had the opportunity just to have it. I found a space we could have it there. And the opportunity came up in kind of scouting locations. Where would we even go? But in scouting locations, there was a shopping center that was looking for tenants and anything. So over at Stonefield. So when they were first opening, they're like, hey, we've got, the space. Well, you just have to pay like this nominal amount for rent and just... So we had floor heaters. We had, what are those puzzle piece exercise mats?
Oh, yeah, I love those.
That. We had floor heaters.
Yeah.
We had like the wire line with the curtains to block off the space. So that was our first space. We finished teacher training there. And it was also an opportunity. Let's see if I have a couple of classes, for teacher training. And then... so we had these classes. We had a few people.
It's a beta test.
Yeah. So I had, a couple classes a day, maybe 2 classes a day. And slowly, we started to see, people started to come out for this. And it slowly started building. And we were looking for other spaces. I was so set on this shopping center. And
You're talking Stonefield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not possible.
Okay, because, I'm going to cut to the chase.
Go ahead.
I write this on ilovecville.com, obscene rents. Now owned by a private equity firm out of New York that is only concerned about the bottom line, and that's why you're seeing massive turnover.
You just say it, Jerry.
Trevina Kitchen, they've reached out to me and said, stop saying this. I'm cutting to the chase. Trevina Kitchen had rent of like $26,000. Rock Salt had rent of like $19K. That's a shitload of oysters you got to sell to cover $19K rent before payroll.
A startup yoga studio.
I know.
Right. And they were like, we're all about local business.
Yeah.
I was like, are you?
They're overvaluing the value proposition that is the movie theater.
Yeah.
The movie theater, movies are dying in popularity. They're overvaluing the value proposition of Trader Joe's. We're seeing Pier 1 closing over there. I'm cutting straight to the chase. I hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like, I got to make a change.
And I was devastated. I was like, in my head, this is the only place this can work. Like, because I was so dead set on it. And it was outrageous. Like, we can't do that. So we actually came across, there was a space over at Millmont.
Yes.
So the Shops of Millmont behind Barracks Road.
Of course.
But it was...
Is that David Sloan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were, it was Blue Ridge Bicycle Shop, is that right? Yeah. So, and I came in there and looked at it then, and it's bikes everywhere, right? They were getting ready to move out, but there was bikes everywhere, and I just was like, oh no, this is not like Stonefield. But again, Brad was like, no, this is like, here's what we can do. And I love that. Here's what we can do. Here's what we can make with this. And and so, okay, let's do this. And I remember, so just talking about this gut-wrenching thing, like now it's not just a temporary space, right? Like nominal fee, like you're not all in. Now it was, okay, are we going to do this? Okay, this is like fully cash all your chips in 4 little kids. You know, Brad quit his job to be able to put this into play. And I still remember that conversation, like, okay, we've got to pull the trigger on this or not. What are we going to do? And there, I mean, if you had this same feeling yourself, but it's a, oh my gosh, like
it can't fail. It can't possibly fail.
It was gut wrenching, and at the same time, I knew what I could do. So I'll say that I knew what I could do. I knew what this could be, but there was, oh my gosh, like this is. But what if? You know, so there's always that little nagging kind of what if. But at the same time, it was gut wrenching. I was also like, let's do it. I can do it. I can do this. We can grind it out. I will, be all in. We'll figure this out together. So that was it. And okay. And then got right into work. Started working at the studio, building it out. But also I knew I had to take my game up. And that's when I went and did all of my, for the next 3 years, all of my training. So that's where I really went in depth with my training, because I wanted to take my teaching, my leadership next level. So I was gone a lot, and we also had the studio. I went to my first week-long, really intensive training. I did my training with Baptiste Yoga. So I did my first training out in Sedona with them, and it was mind-blowing. I was like, I loved the methodology. I practiced Baptiste yoga for a while. I had like a DVD when Brad was deployed. My mom sent me a DVD, and so I really liked his style. I liked how he spoke to me and kind of harkened like the coach, right? It was very much like that. And when I knew, like, hey, I've got to take my game up, I turned right to the Baptiste Institute and everything that they embody with the training and the leadership. And so the next few years, so now I'm a tier 3, 1,200 hour Baptiste yoga influencer. And so, but that changed everything as far as like who I wanted to be as a leader at the studio community, but also it's now grown beyond that. So everything that I've learned through that, everything that I had to go through to get that, has just served the studio, but then the community at large.
Excellent. I'm going to throw this to you. I'm going to relay some comments here. Michael Height.
Yeah.
Love this. Keep talking, Eliza. More, please. This studio made our transition to Charlottesville, the transition from a geography to a home.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Crystal, awesome. Crystal P. We're going to call you Crystal P.
Parasol.
There we go, Parasol. Amazing parents, teachers, coaches, friends, and kids. That Whiteman family, I love them with my heart. Sabrina Acton.
Yes, Sabrina.
Love you guys. You have built such a strong, caring community of FlyDog Yoga. Scott and I have been with Eliza from the beginning. She is a magnetic and passionate person and leader. We love her whole team, the wonderful teachers. Thank you.
I will not be able to get my head through the door.
Deb Baker, this is so powerful and moving. Your mom is watching right now. 5 different states watching the show. Like and share. What separates, here's a tough question. What separates FlyDog Yoga from the other options in the market? And there are other ones?
Oh, man. There are others. This is like every day that I walk through the doors of that studio, it's coming home. It's really, it's a community, but it's a family.
Yeah.
And that was what got me from the very beginning, and it's kept me coming. The people there, the teachers, are next level for sure. They're so good at what they do, and they're so passionate about what they do, and it's a feel like none other when you walk through those doors. People know you, they call you by name, they ask you how'd that thing go last week? How's your dog doing? And it's just, it's a feel like you belong. And you can't match that.
I love it.
I don't know how they did it, how they managed to make it.
I think we as people all have some common characteristics. We want to be loved. We want to be seen. We want to be heard.
Totally.
And we want to be understood.
Sure.
Yep.
And I feel like when you go into FlyDog yoga, and I have yet to go in there.
Come on, Jerry.
I will.
Bring it.
You are loved. You are seen. You are heard. And you are understood. I think your family, and I'm not going to assume, but just from what I've gathered from you guys, have big visions for this brand. You have a brand a moniker and a brand identity that is undoubtedly scalable. I think while it's going to be tough to scale you and Brad, because you are truly one of a kind, and I haven't even met Brad, and I think Brad's one of a kind. I think you can train and coach, team sports background, this mindset, and foster and build a foundation for it. And whether it's actually owned by you guys or licensed or franchised, I see 8 to 10 FlyDogs in the next 10 years, and then a private equity firm coming in and kicking you guys $2 million per location, and you guys piecing out and going on a beach. And then you know what? If you get that opportunity, you may not even take it because you fucking love your job so much. Yep. You love this so much.
I can't see Eliza ever going to a beach somewhere.
She loves it so much, she's going to pass on the PE money. You'll pass on the PE money. I'm going to throw that to you here. I'm sure you have scaling plans.
Such a good question. We were just talking about this.
Pantops, Forest Lakes, Zion's Crossroads, 5th Street Extended.
We were, and that's kind of like, oh my gosh, next step. And Kristen Watson with Provello, she's done such a great job of that, and she has 4 locations now. And I was so, watching her do this and be like, oh wow, that's so great. And when I was like, oh no, is that our time? Should we be doing this? So when we discussed this more, and sure, those ideas have come up. And yeah, it's always a discussion, always up. But what I was just talking with Megan about was also, that's great, love that. And for sure could see that happening. And also though, what else can we do right here? Like, we're still not tapping into our full potential even right here. So, whether it's live streaming our classes, whether it's a good idea. Building community. Yeah. What else can I do in this community? Another thing with Brad is also a yoga teacher. He went out and did his 200-hour yoga teacher training with Vetoga up in DC. So it is for military members that active duty and veterans that for their 200-hour teacher training. So he did that, and he's also gone through Baptiste training as well for him. So he teaches now, and he teaches our veteran and first responder classes. Nice. So he's built that up so that he is now, and we have 5 classes altogether. Yeah. And he is also out at the Fontaine Fire Department. Nice. And that Firehouse. Firehouse, and up at Hollymead as well. So now we're like, what else can we do? So now we're working with and providing scholarships for veterans and first responders, so that we have, a veteran teaching to other veterans, a first responder teaching to other first responders, building this community. So now we're going deeper into the community.
Different verticals.
Now, how can I get more corporations, businesses to start looking at partnering to get community scholarships?
How can you build a school that you're going to within your yoga brand?
Right.
You're talking about further vertically integrating the model to make it more robust.
Yep.
And more insulated from potential downturns.
Yeah, sure. And how else can I arm this community and leading themselves. Here are opportunities, like even working with, so I also lead youth resiliency trainings.
Where do you find the time?
And
dude, seriously.
Well,
you must be the most efficient manager of time.
Megan. Megan, don't tell them the truth.
Yeah.
It's a patchwork. It's not.
Do what you got to do?
Yeah. No, it's a patchwork. It is, especially for me. Like, I'm the good idea fairy. Like, I have all the good ideas. Brad is the implementer. He is combing through everything very meticulously. Like, he really set me on fire with my $300 advanced training. So I put this together and I was like, oh yeah, this will be good enough. And I just kind of passed it out to him. And because I'm remodeling the training. And he came back and he was like, no, not good enough. I have questions on this. And I was so mad. I talked about this in yoga class the other week. I was so mad at him. And it was just, I'm sure everyone in Charlottesville could hear it. It was just, you don't support me. This work environment is terrible. And but he set me on fire and I wanted to prove him wrong. I went back, redid the whole thing, like curriculum, the scheduling, like everything. And I came out of it, I was like, there you go. And I felt really like proud of it, instead of kind of just half-ass it and be like, it's good enough. And so that is, we work well together. It's definitely been, the first 4 years, first 10 years of our marriage, he was gone. Right? He was gone. And now in the last 7, we have to learn to work 24/7.
Props to you. We do that here, my wife and I, in this business.
Yeah.
It ain't no easy task. But you know what? There's no one, and we'll close on this. And we filled an hour. You're crushing it. You are absolutely crushing it here. People are begging you to live stream the class, by the way, on the stream as we speak right now. I'm sure the thought with live streaming the class is, will they then come into the doors? But that's a topic for another day. So here's what I'm going to throw to you. There is, with our business and with my wife working here, it's tough. Totally. But there is no one that, Judah's in this realm too. Judah's won with 8 years. I can count on it getting done. Yeah. I can count on it like getting done right. I can count on it like exceeding expectations. Honesty. You know what? She's like my harshest critic, but comes from the best spot.
Totally.
And because we're all in.
Yeah.
Everything that happens on these first 2 floors determines what our son Trey, his future is.
Yeah.
And it's scary as hell.
Yep.
But there's no one I would rather like ride or die with than her.
Totally.
That topic with you and Brad, how it's going.
How it's going.
How like the advice you offer. Entrepreneurs.
But just coming together, like partnering together, working together with it, or just entrepreneurs?
Yeah, working together with it, with a better half. Would you even advise to do it? It depends on the day.
It'll make or break you. It'll make or break you. There was another business that they were newlyweds, and Brad and I were talking. He's like, I don't know how, it's, you learn a lot. And then it's not only like learning a lot, it's like, okay, how do I work with that? How do I continue to like you as a person if I can't do business with you as a business partner? And so it's been quite a dance, and really it's an ongoing thing. And learning communication, and then better communication, and understanding where he comes from and his military background. And I was just watching a show, I think it was in like a National Geographic on Army Rangers and Army Special Forces selection. Like, I was watching all that, because that's where he came from. He's Army Ranger and Special Forces. And I gained a greater understanding of, because he always, in his mind, no matter if it's the role, the towels to the trainings to why things have to be this way. If things aren't this way, if all the things aren't accounted for, someone could be in danger, and not as it's not a hardcore, but
that's my mindset.
It's always in like. We are having to do this because, I don't want a chance for error.
Yeah. I want to be the best version of myself in every single thing I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be like walking to the car and finding the fastest line to the car.
Yeah. Well, and it's just because a greater sense of urgency, like real things were on the line for him for his 10 years, right? Or, I mean, beyond that. But real things, real people, real, and so that, when I kind of understood better, and even just watching that, like, it's teamwork. We're all in this together. Brad is one of the most loyal people. And he will do everything for you. Absolutely. So everyone at this studio, like, he is loyal as the day is long. And he is the person you want on your side. So he's always a key part of everything. But it's when we go home and having to, I've had to learn this from like a guy perspective. Guys do really well at compartmentalizing.
I'm so good at that. I'm so good.
Like, here's my downtime. I'm going to take my downtime box and put it on. Right? Like, here's my work time. I'm going to put my work time. And so women seem like we're always going. We're very good at multitasking and keeping all the things in our head. But yeah, guys, we've had to work on more of compartmentalizing. Okay, it's just this time. Okay, like, now let's talk about work, what we want to do. Okay, that's off. Let's just hang out and have family time. So that's been key of don't bring your stuff home.
Yeah.
It still goes over. It's never perfect. Right. But there is still that little bit of got to keep it separate, because if it starts bleeding over, the animosity here or there, it just kind of builds.
Totally.
And so I've had to get better at compartmentalizing time.
I'm going to say it again.
Do it again.
You're a badass.
Thanks.
Seriously, Ashley says I'm going to be there next week.
Yeah.
You've convinced me. I would run through fire for you right now.
Thanks.
Seriously, you guys crushed it today. Thank you.
Thank you
For coming on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
For coming on the show. For those that are watching the program right now, we did not get to your comments. I would encourage you to go to FlyDog Yoga in the Millmont shops and talk to the ladies firsthand in person.
Come on over.
Behind Barracks Road Shopping Center. For those that are asking where they can watch the show in totality, we will archive it on ilovecville.com. We will syndicate today's show for 2 weeks after today across the I Love CVille network, which is 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts. We have the third largest Instagram in the community, an e-newsletter that goes out to 125,000 plus inboxes every morning at 11 a.m. We'll take the audio from today's show and turn it into a podcast on iTunes and where you find your podcasts, and you can get the audio and visual of today's show on ilovecville.com. I close every show with the same message. I ask everyone to please embody the golden rule. Treat the people in your life how you want to be treated yourself. It's a simple concept on paper, but a concept that is missing in much of our world. My name is Jerry Miller. This is the I Love CVille show. Joe Lawler, live music. Tomorrow on the program, he's played with the Dave Matthews Band, a legend. Is going to be playing music tomorrow at 12:30. Enjoy your afternoon, guys.
All right. Is that it? Hey.
So good.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. This is fun.
Yeah.
Did so great, Megan. Good
fun
job.
to watch you shine. I tell you.
Good job.